Hello. Um, Last time, or in the last packet, we discussed photosynthesis. And we talked about photosynthesis in plants and some of the things that go into and out of photosynthesis. I'm going to extend that conversation and start talking about cellular respiration. So, cellular respiration is a process within plants and animals and insects and all these living organisms where we harvest the energy from a food source to use that energy in our bodies to power things that are happening at a cellular level or to power muscles or organs. Everything that needs energy is going to need to get that energy from somewhere. So I'm going to talk about cell respiration in association with photosynthesis because one kind of feeds into the other. You're going to see this loop. And I'll start with photosynthesis, even though we've talked about it before. I'm just going to review. And it's always important to remember that the ultimate energy source for our system, for the Earth system, is the sun. That's where we get the vast majority of the energy for anything here on Earth from sunlight. It all starts there. So from the sun's energy, we can see that that is then taken up by the plants. And it's used by the plants here to go through the process of photosynthesis. So the plant is going to harvest the sun's energy. It's actually going to take energy from the sun and it's going to put it into a glucose molecule. So we got that right here, you can see. Okay, so energy from the sun plus we need to have some kind of substance because energy doesn't have, it's not matter, right? So we see that carbon dioxide and water are going to go into photosynthesis right here. Then energy from the sun gets combined with the carbon dioxide and the water to form our glucose over here. That's how a plant makes its own food. It makes a glucose molecule, and then it can use that glucose molecule to harvest the energy through cell respiration. Now, we eat plants, we eat animals, so that's how we're going to get our glucose, right? We're not going to make our own glucose. We don't go through photosynthesis. But we eat things, and that's how we get glucose, or a food source, really. You can think of this as just your food, right? So that's photosynthesis. The next step is cell respiration. Cell respiration is down here. And they have an animal here. They have a rabbit as the example. First off, this mitochondria, which you see here, the mitochondria is this bean-shaped organelle, and it's found within a cell. So all of our cells have mitochondria in them. All of our cells have this bean-shaped organelle called mitochondria. Because all of our cells are going to need to have an energy source in one way or the other. Now, when we eat our foods, when we start breaking it down during digestion, we don't directly use the energy that's in our food, in this glucose here, directly to power our muscles. We have to make a conversion. We have to get that energy out of the food. So in cell respiration, we have the glucose or food coming in. And you'll also see over here we have oxygen. This is the oxygen that we breathe in. Okay? We take the glucose and the oxygen, they go through cell respiration, and we get out something called ATP. This is important. ATP is the molecule that our bodies actually use for movement, for energy. So ATP molecule will go to your muscle cells. They will go to your brain cells. They will go to your liver cells. They will go everywhere in the body so that things can happen at a cellular level. so that I can move my muscles, so that my brain works, so that all these things that require energy get their energy. ATP is very much like a battery, okay? But following this cycle, after cell respiration, we see that there's a byproduct besides ATP. ATP is the one that we need and want, but we also have some waste products. And if you follow this arrow along here, you see that the waste products of cellular respiration are carbon dioxide and water, both of which you need to go into photosynthesis. So it's going to be best for us to think about these two things in conjunction, photosynthesis and cell respiration, not separate them. And you have to know what goes into each process and what comes out of each process. All right, we're going to cover some more of that throughout the unit. We'll come back to this idea, but this is the core idea here. If you have any questions, please let myself or your other science teacher know. Thank you.